Yo, it's the Visionary Mind Smoke Some Podcast, episode 31st of the Visionary Mind. I see it, I think it, I make it happen. It's the first show of 2024, man. Last year, we had a pretty good year. We wrapped up everything on a strong note. Last year, what the message was consistency. 2024 is the message is to reach heights that you think you can go to, or that you know that you can go to, and exceed that expectation. So, 2024 is about exceeding expectation and reaching your goals and going higher than what you ever could, pun intended. We got a great show for y'all, man. We got Tres 420. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good, man. Thank you for asking.
I'm doing pretty good, man. Hey, so a lot of the guests that we get on our pod are people that we meet from Instagram, and you're one of the people that I really wanted to get on the podcast because I love your content. Like you find a new and creative and genuine way to promote your brand and what you do, and I gotta salute you for that. Just first and foremost, because you know some people just post what they post and they just kind of like don't seem like they having fun. It's like, okay, I just want to show that I'm growing cannabis and this is this and that. It kind of look plain, but you take a more like funny but cerebral way of looking at it. Like, okay, like goofy way of looking at it. Like, yeah. And I appreciate your content, and I definitely always wanted to have you on. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you, bro. Likewise, man. I appreciate the love, and same to you, man. Like, ever since you reached out to me, I started checking you out. I started listening to your podcast. The mental health one was really good. The one with the last one with GanjaGrappler was great. So putting out great content. Everything looks clean.
Thank you.
Super professional. Got a whole setup here.
Thank you.
So yeah, it looks great.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
So I wanna get started in your beginning and your journey. Like, how did you get to this point? Like, what was your life like? What was your upbringing to get you to this point, and we'll go from there.
No, it's funny you say that because I shouldn't even be socialized with the herb. I shouldn't even be wanting to be so involved with it in my daily life.
Right.
Because the way I grew up like super Christian, Seventh-day Adventist to be exact, and that's the devil's lettuce.
Yeah,
that's the gateway drug.
Unfortunately,
that's how it starts. And so like my parents, like you said, unfortunately they see like the herb in the same category as like heroin and like meth, like drugs, the D word. I don't like using
Not to cut you off, but
yeah.
I can say I'm somewhat of a religious person. Like, I'm more spiritual than religious, but I grew up in a family where, we read the Bible, so I know the Bible back and forth, but the Bible speaks about cannabis, like the burning bush. That gotta be cannabis.
So that's the thing. Like with the Seventh-day Adventist folk, I would I don't want to piss anybody off, but I would use the C word, like a little cult. So like
yeah. They
have their own interpretations that have very strict beliefs, and they don't even want to accept anything, no theories.
Right.
What's on there? It was a burning bush. That's God doing it, It's not cannabis. What's wrong with you?
Man, hey.
So like that,
Yeah.
So it was very difficult for me to get to where I'm at.
Right.
But yeah, but either way, in high school, obviously, right? Everybody starts in high school. I was 16. I went over to my cousin. I had older cousins that lived on the north side of Chicago.
Right.
Because I was born in Argentina, and then I came here when I was 9 to the south side of Chicago, and then eventually when I grew up, that's when I came to Michigan or whatever. Right. But yeah, so I went over to my cousin's house, 16-year-old kid, I was like, oh, I love coming here.
Right.
And then they were like, pull out the little baggie, it was like 2 in the morning. I'm like, probably like 1 beer in because I'm 16, and I'm like, oh, this.
Right.
And so I tried, I hit it, and then I'm on the floor like looking at the fan, and I'm like, oh, like, ooh, such a different feeling. And then it evolved from there, and then in college, I started using it more regularly. You know, obviously, like you go to a party, there's always that room. I'm like, hey guys, like I'm not gonna hit it. I'm just gonna be here.
Right. I'm gonna enjoy the scenery.
Yeah. I just want to hang out, see what's up. And like,
so, hey, that's how it always starts for most of us. Yeah.
So it was funny. And then one of my buddies, he was a baseball player. He's like, oh, I smoke before every game. I was like, what? I was like, you're ridiculous. You crazy, bro. What? He said, try it. He said, go smoke, go kick the ball around, see how you feel.
Yeah.
Did that when I was like, oh, bitch.
Yeah, I'm focused. I can see things that I didn't see beforehand. Like it's more of a wide view, not closed in point of perspective.
Yeah, for me, it gave me like, it took away that that performance anxiety.
Yeah.
And it like dissolved like me.
Right.
And I can just flow.
Right.
So whenever I have the ball on my feet, I'm not like, I'm just
yeah, free flowing.
Yeah. So, and then I was like, this is weird because I grew up with this. Oh, this is so bad. This is that. It's gonna put you on the couch. You're gonna be all stupid. You're gonna lose your life. And here I am. I like smoked this, and I had like an incredible game.
Yeah, facts.
I was like, what? I'm like, so that led me to like other venues and like the healing properties and like like not all the other stuff that it has, like not just the THC,
right?
Like the all the other cannabinoids like the CBDs and so I wanted to grow it just like everybody else is broke in college. So I was like, I was like, I want to smoke this beautiful herb.
Right.
I don't know. But then when I started looking into growing, when I first started into growing, it was probably like 2014, bro.
Okay.
And then I was like, man, I don't know. This is too much.
Yeah.
Google, I need lights, tents. Oh, what is this? NPK.
Soil. Yeah.
Nutrients I got to feed. I was like, I thought it was a plant. And,
right.
You just put that thing in
there. Yeah.
So then I was like, no, that's too complicated. That's not for me.
Right.
At first. And then eventually when I was a little bit older, and I was able to move away from my parents' house and like just kind of like do my own thing.
Yeah.
Then I was able to start. But I did a lot of research first. So I knew I wanted to grow. But I didn't know how I wanted to grow.
Right, because it's different ways and different strategic ways to do it.
Yeah, and I would say like there's a lot of people that stand by like their method. And that's cool, and I like to say that cannabis is super like diverse, just like we are. Like we are like the seed of something, and we're one of one. So cannabis is the seed of something. That's one of one.
Right.
So many different ways. So there's not one way. You could do this, you could do that. Living soil, unfortunately, some people like to use synthetics and salt-based nutrients. That's okay. Some people just have access to that, or whatever. Some people don't have access to anything. And like I said, they just put it in the soil.
Yeah.
So once I found all these different ways, I started looking into like living soil and like, oh, okay. So if you create an environment for your plant, you don't necessarily have to add all these nutrients.
Right.
So, okay. So there's the organic stuff too. Okay. So I don't have to get like the expensive stuff, the fancy bottle, and you want to get everything. They have like 17 different things. They're like, this is for this, and don't forget, and then the flush, and then yada yada. Right. So, nah, man, I like going the organic route, and what I found that what caters to my style is the living soil. Living soil. And then I took it a little bit deeper than that. Me being from South America, and my people doing it always since day one. Terra preta, which is biochar. It's like the new trend now, and I believe it's what's gonna save the world one backyard at a time. For real.
Definitely. So let's go back a little bit. Let's go back a little bit. I want to go back to something you said earlier. You're originally from Argentina.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember living in Argentina, and what can you tell us about the culture about Argentina and how those values are still instilled into you as you have been in America now?
So Argentina, we have a lot of. So there's like there's some native influence, but we also have a lot of European influence. That's where I get the whiteness in the skin. But put me under the sun for like just about one day, and I come back like that. I swear to God. But anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of European influence and like a lot of heavy Italian. Like our Spanish is even like we have a little jump, and then we go like that. You see.
Because when you kind of like look at it from a different lens, like Portuguese, Spanish, a lot of those like even Latin to a certain degree kind of brush the line of like the difference is like the dialect, and you say things differently. Yeah, so I kind of noticed that, like,
I could have a conversation, like, with some other people from Latin America.
mm-hmm.
We can definitely understand each other. There's a little bit of word differences here and there. It's actually kind of funny because this is like heavily Mexican, and when we first came to the south of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we would see predominantly Mexican advertising,
Right.
and so like there's this one thing that was like culture shock because there was like it's called a sweet bread. It's
Mhm.
called concha,
Okay.
but for us it's like the female body part, and
Oh.
for them it's just like a piece of bread.
Right.
So it was like Concha Week, 25 cents. And I was like, what the hell? I was like, what is this country?
What
What are
you-
they
what
like,
you-
25 cents though? You know, like, what's up?
Yeah. So, like, can you speak about some of the things that you remember from when you were in Argentina?
So a bit very heavy, obviously very heavy into soccer.
Okay.
So from like some day one, soccer every day, all day, every day. So I lived like, it's a fairly small town. And my house like on the edge. There's nothing but backyard and a railroad in the back. That's it. And it was all just like a river is beautiful, but in the front was a soccer field, like
Yeah.
two. And at 5, man, like that's it. Every 5 or after work, you know, you see everybody playing soccer, the whole neighborhood, and it's super competitive. I mean, from day one, you know, you got to do like juggle the ball. You
Right.
know, whoever can't do the most juggles, you're in
Yeah,
goal. You
yeah,
know,
you
that's
gotta go,
embarrassing. Yeah. And so like you don't want to be in goal. You know.
Right.
So like like right away, you know, you want to be the fastest. You want to
Yeah.
score the most goals. Everybody's a striker.
Yeah, everybody's competitive as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So like that, and then what I miss the most too is like the food, the grilling. Very heavy on like. I mean,
Yeah.
I do grill a lot at home. My girl definitely eats a lot more red meat now that she's
Right.
with me, but like a lot of grilling. Like I said, we have a lot of heavy Italian influence too. So we like a lot of bread, a lot of starch, like pastas.
Okay.
Heavy into like the red sauce.
Right.
We make also milanesa too, which is like from Milan.
Right.
And then we have which is like breaded deep fried like steak or chicken,
Mhm.
very similar to your country fried steak, except our breading is a little bit thinner,
Right.
and we just use like a little bit more herbs like parsley and garlic and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I love to cook, by the way. So.
Yeah. I do too. I love to try different cultures and different variations of different things. Because something like we just said, like you can eat an Italian dish, but you can eat something from that's like from Argentina. It's just those subtle differences that make it unique within itself.
Yeah, they brought over some stuff, and then we put our own twist to it. And that's like the beauty, I would say, about all Latin America in general. Everybody's got their own twist. Everybody's got their own accent. Everybody's got their own culture, their own slang words. But I'm going to say this right now. Argentina is still the best soccer. The best soccer nation right now. Nobody can say otherwise.
Nobody.
I
So, like as far as like as far as in Latin America and especially Argentina, like what are their views on cannabis?
I would say it's fairly strict. I follow some guys. Like there's a famous grower out there. It's called the Dab Grow.
Okay.
It's in English, but like he's out there and he does the very clean stuff. A lot of like what we were saying, the bubble hash.
Mm-hmm.
So he grows his flower and then he washes it and then he produces this like beautiful concentrate, that he posts and stuff. And then there's like another small little cultivars that I follow from people that I found online, like same way.
Yeah.
And then they, Argentina in the house. Oh, me too, Argentina in the house. Let's go. I'm gonna follow you.
Right.
So and like that. But as far as like the rule goes, I'm not exactly sure. I know there is some medical cannabis. Even my mom spoke about, having access to medical cannabis like back in the day when she was a nurse in Argentina. So I feel like there was some sort of usage, but I don't think it's like like here, like in Michigan, we can openly like just have 12 plants and have the freedom that we do.
Yeah. So just to dive back into the like Argentina and your roots. What triggered or what made your family decide like, hey, we're gonna come to America and live here and kind of either like go back and forth and go back to Argentina or just permanently move to America?
The beautiful lie, right? The American dream.
Yeah.
Is it a lie? But no. So basically, long story short, my dad is the big family, like nine kids.
Okay.
2 sisters and seven boys, or whatever. And then, so one of my uncles is a traveling nurse, and he had a patient in Wisconsin.
Okay.
And that's what happens to be like, that was like one of my dad's closest, like, you know, obviously not that he had favorites, but you know, the one, the closest to age. So they always did things together.
Right.
So when he came here, he was like, oh, you know, nah, I need to see my brother and this and that, really miss him and yada yada. And plus, you know, everything seemed, you know, grass is always greener on the other side. My uncle would just call it and be like, oh man, you know, this is like that, America's like this and that, you guys should come over here. My mom lost her job.
Okay.
And my dad's having difficulties. And then I think he tried coming here like 1990 whatever, like I would have been born here. Woo, thank God. He saved me for that. I dodged the bullet there. So yeah, so then we came here in 2000 when I was like 9 years old. And yeah, basically because then eventually all my dad's side of the family migrated here. So
right.
That was the thing with that.
No, I get that. So moving here, and you living in America, like, what were your views on like America and just in general before you officially knew that you were moving here?
Well, basically, I just watched like all the American films, you know, like Home Alone and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I was back then, so I it was goofy. I don't know. I thought I was gonna get here and I was gonna skateboard because I always saw American
skateboarding.
Yeah. So you know, we had the soccer and everything. I play basketball too.
Okay.
We play ball back there. It's pretty popular. But not like skateboarding or like baseball or like the American football. We call it the American football.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna be doing all these other sports and I'm gonna be doing the. So I was really young. All I knew is that it was a great place, right? Like everybody comes here and everybody just thrives.
Right.
Yeah. You know, there's no poverty. There's no like. As a matter of fact, my dad was told, you need to make X amount of money if you move to Chicago. Otherwise, we won't approve you. Because there's like no such thing as like poverty. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, they kind of trick you with that one.
This is what you said to that right there.
Yeah, you said something earlier. Previously, about the American dream, and I feel like the American dream for like maybe our parents' age or what they had versus now is completely different. And I feel like the American dream changes every like maybe. You could say an election like every 4, but really every 2, because once you know, like, all right, this president's been here for 8 years or 4 years, like comes that time of the election where they were the sort of codes and values they were elected by is going to change that second term if they can get that second term. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the American dream is that, like, from when our parents, when we were kids to now, like,
it's a little bit different.
It's way different. Like, some people are like, you know what, I just want 2 kids, maintain, get a house. And it's like, you can't even do that now.
No, man.
You have to, you know.
There's a lot of people that have mixed feelings, and I don't make anybody angry, but I do not want to have kids. No, thank you. The financial burden, just the times that we're in, you know, if we live in a world where kids are getting snatched off the street.
Yeah.
I don't want to have any, you know, it's scary.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, no, the American dream is definitely different for one of my parents, and from what I'm doing. But I'm not gonna lie, there's still a lot of opportunity here in this country.
Definitely.
I'm not really sure exactly all that what's going on politically in my country because I don't really pay attention to that. I mostly just follow the soccer teams. River Plate. You know, 3-1 moriste in Madrid. That's a shot to our rivals right there. Everybody watching from Boca Juniors knows what that is.
Right.
But anyways, so yeah, it definitely has changed a lot, like you said. But I feel like I should still be a little bit grateful. You know, I have mixed feelings, to be honest, because part of me wants to be grateful.
Right.
Because I have opportunity to have not that like we are super poor, like dirt poor, you know, but now I can have a big house, a nice car, chase my dreams, have some financial freedom. Like I said earlier, you know, play soccer, and I don't know if that I would have had anything close to what I had over here in Argentina, because the amount of talent. I mean, I go over there and I'm like below average, probably, you know. Over here, I'm like, oh, he's good, you know. We want him in our team.
Right.
I'm just one of the few over there, you know. So I feel like in a way I should be grateful, but don't get me wrong. Like I cannot unsee the things I've seen. I cannot unlive the things that I lived. I cannot like unfeel the feelings. So, and United States in a way is kind of like the core of it all.
Right.
And there's a lot of information, and you mentioned 2024, age of Aquarius, age of truth. A lot of things are coming to light. So now we're seeing how it seems like a good thing, our lifestyle, chasing a dream, trying to make more money, getting that big house, getting that nice car. But in the background, you know, there's tons of other people's lives that are being changed.
Right.
We're just not aware. We just don't know. We get the end product. But this battery was mined a certain way.
Right.
Go look at the mines. That phone was assembled a certain way. Go look at the work conditions.
Right.
So I could go to the bank, I can apply for a credit card, and I can buy all these nice things, but I'm feeling something in the background. So, am I grateful? I am, but I also see like the reality of my lifestyle.
Right.
You know, if that makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. Definitely. So, so let's get into the growing aspect. Like you said, you started 16, you were a consumer, you loved it, and the euphoria you gave you. So what about it made you go from consumer to curator or cultivator? Or
I was broke. Yeah. I was like, dang, I really want to smoke right now, but I got no weed.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks.
I wish I had it. So then this is also why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like also why the content, I feel like I like putting it out there, because I want to educate other people. I want to tell them, hey, you know, it really is that easy. You really don't have to spend a penny. You telling me that for me to buy what you guys label as a weed or grow, to grow something that you guys label as a weed, I need to go to the Home Depot and drop $500 on like soil and amendments. Man, I got so much soil in the backyard, bro.
Right.
Dig it up. Come on, do a little bit of work.
Yeah.
You need some fertilizer. Start doing your own composting. You know, your kitchen scraps, they go straight there and start going to the landfill. Right. That's one of my goals for 2024 is like lower my carbon footprint. And it also goes hand in hand with my gardening, because I'm figuring out ways to do these things, and at the end, cost me like nothing, just a little bit of work. Right. And I have all this like growing material that I'm getting for free, and it's not only free. It's I'm buying the stuff, I'm making it in the home, whatever. I guess not free. I don't have to purchase.
Internal resources.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I'm growing some great bud, and turns out like it's the kind of like the best way, you know, like the living soil, the organic, working hand in hand with nature. So at first it was the fact that I wanted to smoke, and I didn't have the money to smoke, and excuse me, I'm like, oh, I could just grow it. So that's it.
Right. So basically, having something that you really love, but being intuitive enough to like, all right, instead of, you know, because most people have like a lazy mindset, like, let me go find the biggest plug or the biggest caregiver. Like, no, I'm going to be that person for myself. So that in whole in itself just shows like your intuitive way, and just being like, hey, I got a problem, I'm going to fix the problem. So definitely. Starting out, like, how did you actually learn how to grow, and the different methods, and like, you know, the regenerative and then the biochart? Like, how did you get those different methods, and how did you learn how to grow?
Like at first asking. So I had like the guy that I was buying from, he grew. Okay. So I asked, you know, he had his own set of line or you know, synthetics and stuff like that. And then honestly, we're fortunate enough to live in the information age. Everything's right there and then for me.
Open world.
So in the couch, I'm not gonna lie, man. On the couch, that's where I do most of my research. Like, you know, YouTube, blogs, like
YouTube University.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then so like that put me on the path, right? At first, I was like, oh, you know, synthetics and charts and scheduling. Oh, day 13, I have to give it 17 ounces of this bullshit. Right. You know, day 75, I need to give more bullshit. You know, so like, so like that. And then it took me to Jadam, the KNF, the Korean Natural Farming. which is kind of like the same thing where you grab like, so it's like the inexpensive. What do you have? What do you have, and what can you do with what you have, and what to scale up and do it naturally. So KNF, you do like stuff like you do like grab like a container of water. You put your potato peels in there, or whatever. You make sure you let it sit, let it ferment. There's also like different ways that I learned through that to collect mycorrhiza,
right,
and IMOs, indigenous microorganisms.
Okay.
Like from in where I was wanting to grow, and incorporate them in my soil. So then now the regenerative stuff came out, and that's also like I was like that's what I want to do.
Right.
The Jadam stuff was still good, and I do some stuff from there, like the IPMs, like for like mold and pests.
Yeah.
So they have stuff you could do like garlic oil.
This is teaching me a lot of different things because I'm one of those people that like want to grow, but I'm more of a consumer than I am a like cultivator. So you're teaching me and you're teaching the audience like, from your perspective how to start this process. So I'm here. This I don't want it to be like an interview. Like this is a conversation. So this is like you're teaching me something, and I'm just gradually coming up with different ways I want to ask you these different questions.
Okay, so lesson number 1: regenerative garden soil only. If anybody comes to you and tells, no, I'm just kidding. So that like again, this is like you said, that's my thing. So
yeah.
The reason why I like regenerative soil so much is number 1, you get to save money on soil. So if you create a bed with a closed loop circle with enough, soil to maintain everything healthy, you can just cut the old one out, put the seed right there, and just start the new cycle. You don't have to, every time you go and you want to grow, you don't have to go buy a bag of soil. Gotta go buy a bag of soil. So what I did, in my greenhouse, I got a little 6x8 greenhouse from Harbor Freight.
Okay, shout out to them.
Oh yeah. So I put that little thing together. It was inexpensive. It was a little bit of a bitch to put together. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the dimensions didn't quite add up, like the foundation. But anyways, so I dug everything down.
Okay.
I dug everything down. Like at one point, it was like 3.5 feet. And like now there's like hugelkultur, Hugel, I don't know, with some German stuff. But basically you make mounds, and then so you start up with like logs, and then you put leaves, and then you put dirt. And the idea is to layer and mimic kind of like the weather,
Right.
So like leaves fall, snow, water, and then again spring, green. So you want to put like green stuff, leaves, soil, and stuff like that, and make like a mound. So but I dig it down. So I dug it down, and I put my logs there. Okay. And then I put the twigs, and then I put some leaves, and then I started putting soil, and then I put like a layer of the homemade biochar that I made. We probably can get into that if you want here in a second.
Yeah, definitely.
And then my compost, my homemade compost, and then some soil. And then I was helping. I kind of cheated a little bit, I feel like, because I was helping one of my grower friends trim, and I got like big bags of leaves. I saved all the leaves, and I grabbed those leaves and I put them on my soil. So I got like secondhand fertilizer, because the plants hold all the nutrients in the leaves, and then later on in flower they only use that. So then they release. So when you pluck them in the veg stage, you pluck some leaves out to encourage like growth, to get like a bigger yield. And also just to clean the canopy up a little bit to get light going all the way through. So
is that the more like natural way to, because it seemed like you just putting it within a natural like habitat, and then it's just organically like gonna blossom and like do what it's gonna do.
See, so I feel like also like nothing does it better than nature. That's also like my belief. That's why, because again, you can go get those synthetic fertilizers or the salt-based fertilizers, and you probably get something you smoke and you're proud of, right. And that's all it is too. Grow something that you're proud of, that you like smoking. Right. But yeah, so this is also like I said, you work with nature. So I heard a podcast from Dragonfly Earth Medicine. I like them a lot. They also do the close loop regenerative soil. Okay. Yeah, and then she spoke about Yeah, just like think about like when you grow in the pots versus where you grow in like the regenerative soil. Think about the synthetic nutrients in that style as you only drinking juice. Because everything's gonna be that you put in there is gonna be readily available. I'm kind of like trying to paraphrase, like this is how I understood it.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody in the comments gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But like it's like you drinking juice because everything that you put in that soil is readily available for that plant to uptake. So you're like you still get all those nutrients, but you kind of don't not like a lazy plant, but like when you put it inside the microbe with regenerative soil and like the mycorrhiza and the beneficial microbes, you're creating a synergy. You know, the plant sends out sugars and amino acids.
Right.
Naturally. The microbes come in.
Yeah.
They have that exchange. Like, you know, microbes come in, they eat that, they poop it out. And then the plants are like, delicious, thank you for the nutrients. Like, not really, but, you know, that's how it works. The byproduct of that, they make something readily available for the plants to uptake.
Right.
So then also that takes away a little bit of time for you. So if you were to go the synthetic route or this other stuff that's readily available, you're going to constantly have to, boom, every time. Oh, day 31, okay, flower, transition stage, transition nutrients, flower stage, flower nutrients. In my mind, I'm a lazy grower too. So I want something that works by itself. So I just want to put that bad boy there. I want to come in, flower. I want to vibe with it, smoke it. There you go. And that's it, you know. I'll trim it, you know, do the trellis nettings to make sure, you know, it has good airflow.
Right.
There's certain things you still have to like keep up, especially if you're growing like indoors or like in small corners, like my greenhouse. Yeah.
So like, what does your day-to-day consist of? Like, as far as like when it comes to growing and doing what you do, like what's the like obviously taking care of the plants, but like what are some details that most people wouldn't know that you would have to do to have the high quality that you have?
Number one, the one thing too, I guess I would say is like the passion, the waking up and going to your grow and admiring and seeing your work, your like hard work pay off, right? I feel like that was for me the best thing that I found. But as far as like things that I learned, like the hard way, pay attention to like humidity. Like I spoke about my greenhouse. So your humidity is one thing during veg,
right?
But then when it starts to flower, then you really gotta worry about humidity not having. Because I've had 2 wedding cakes in my grow and then one of them was kind of like underneath the tree, and that one rotted out a lot.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know, maybe the tree was holding in that moisture. So I gotta get rid of like some of the main colas. Right. It's made me really sad, man. I'm like some fish. But you live, you know, that's another thing when it comes to like the organic. I guess there's a lot of people that say, oh, you know, that's the downside. I don't want to deal with pests.
Right.
Because when you do it like this, the regenerative, you kind of want to let nature take care of nature. Right. You go in, you have to keep up. Like I said, there you don't have to make your own spray for IPM. You can get like Dr. Zymes, the eliminator. That's the one that I use. Okay. And then, just that. Learn how to watch your temperatures, your humidities, and learn how to keep the IPM properly. That's what I struggle to. Not so much. My first grow was actually very smooth. Okay. And it gave me a very stupid hubris. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm such a good grower. But I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna scale it up next year. Let's go. And then I had to deal with a completely new set of like
issues. And pros and cons.
That's it.
Definitely. So how do you decide like what exactly you want to grow as far as like the plants and
I asked my girl, I say, hey baby, can I grow this strain? No, I'm just kidding. No, I do. So I have one of my boys, the one that I'm gonna give the flower to that we were smoking earlier.
Okay, which was great, by the way.
Thank you.
I'm completely stoned. Like it didn't take that long. Like you can feel the natural like.
Thank you.
It's a difference. It's a big difference. Like I'm really stoned right now.
It's a broader spectrum,
right?
Because think about the indoor. This is why people like indoor versus the outdoor, because you have more control.
Right.
So the regenerative organic stuff. Oh, I don't like to deal with all that pests. So I get it. If you live in an area maybe has a lot of like bugs and you don't really have a control like that, grow indoor if that works better for you.
Right.
But you have always the same temperature, the same light, the same airflow. So outside, one day is hot, one day is super hot, one day is cloudy, one day is windy, one day is super rainy. So the more you stress out the bud, the more like terpene productions and the more stresses it gets introduced to. So you have a broader spectrum of cannabinoids that are being created.
Right.
So that's, I guess, also another benefit of outdoor versus indoor to me.
Right. So back to the original point, like how do you like decide?
Oh, my fault, yeah.
No, it's all good. It's no big deal. Like how do you
decide what to grow?
Decide what to grow in.
Yeah. So like my buddy. So I'm like, hey, what some of the strains that you like? Just like that. So what I've smoked in the past. So I like Skywalker OG. I grew that last year, and I'm so happy. I'm like, oh, this is, bro. I went through that so quick. Yeah. I'm like, this is delicious. I need to roll another one. But yeah, that's what happens when you grow. So like that, and then I just asked my friends, like the friends that smoke with me, and I smoke the most. My girlfriend, she likes anything blueberry.
Okay.
So I had a blueberry muffin, and then like people that I come in contact with in Michigan, I'm very blessed to have found a really great group of awesome individuals in the caregiver community. Right. That are like, in the forefront of the fight, just like the GanjaGrappler lady.
Yeah. Shout out Kitty.
Yeah. Like the Michigan Weister guys, all these guys that are pushing like the law, Right. But yeah, so then like I said, yeah, just have access to caregivers. And I just met a couple friends, and they were like, some guys were like, hey, here, I got this little seed from, if you want. I'm like, oh, yeah, take that one. And just I like online, too, like I said, like people that I've kind of like connected with. And so I got some seeds from them. I bought some seeds also. And then, like I said, like that, either I like you, I like your stuff online. I like smoking that strain, or my girl likes smoking that strain, or my boys like smoking that strain. So I like to have a little bit of different strains, just so like wake up in the morning this strain, in the nighttime that strain, that type of deal. So like, what's your favorite strain? Oh man, the and from my grow, or like overall, a little bit of both. Let's go with your grow, because obviously that's the most important part. That's what matters the most. Thank you. It does. Yeah. But yeah, no, so the one that was the tastiest was the blueberry muffin, which I don't have any, because like I said, that was tastiest. So we went through that one too. Yeah, pretty good, yeah. And then the Platinum Pebbles too. Shout out to AB Seed Co. He's the breeder. And I was super impressed with that one, man. The way it grew, and also super, like that was in the blunt that we smoked too. Okay. That was in the blunt that we smoked too. So those two are my favorite ones, and yeah, just like the Skywalker, man. Any Skywalker. Yeah, the smell was like perfect, like, and then once I could just tell by like it's gonna be not that bad, not that hard to break down, and then once you smoke it, it got like it's strong as fuck, but it got a smooth, like it ain't gonna just like it's gonna creep up on you. Like once you done, it still had that aftertaste. So like that's how you could tell it's like real good weed. Thank you, bro. Yeah, thank you. No problem. So that's how you decide to what you want to grow. So like as a caregiver, what do you see as like the biggest benefit, and what is the biggest con, especially in Michigan? I'm sorry, I'm not a caregiver. Not yet. I want to be, and I just don't want to take credit for it, and try to pretend to be something that I'm not, because there's a lot of people that do a lot of great work. Right. I'm just a grower in my backyard. But yeah,
Okay.
I will
Apologies.
be a caregiver. No, not
Yeah.
not to me, to the caregivers that are actually doing the Lord's work,
Right.
actual Lord's work.
Yeah, because when you said caregiver community,
Yeah.
you named some of the people that
Mhm.
are instrumental in our state. I just figured that.
Yeah, no,
that
I
was
got
the
you. I
case
got you.
here.
I just didn't want. I just want to do that.
No.
But the pros and cons, I say.
Not to cut you off.
Yeah, sorry.
So why wouldn't it? Why aren't you classified like as a caregiver?
Oh, we gotta start talking politics.
Let's talk about it.
So I'm a dreamer. I'm a DACA recipient.
Okay.
So what that means basically is that I came here not illegally, because we flew here and everything, but I stayed here. Like I overstayed my welcome, the
Right.
permit. But because I was brought here before the age of 16, and I did my high school here, and there are all these little check marks that you have to
Okay.
It was an executive order that the Obama administration passed.
Okay.
So they allowed people like me that were stuck, because after high school, I could go to college, I could maybe work here and there, but I couldn't work where I wanted to work.
Right.
So like when I hear like, oh, immigrants taking our jobs, I'm like, which ones, bro? Which
Yeah.
ones? The immigrant would never apply where you work,
Right.
and vice versa. You would never apply. So no, they didn't take your job, bro, because they can't. They
Right.
can't get that job.
And I
You
feel like
know?
that's one of the like misconceptions of like immigrants and things like that. Like a lot of people be like, oh, they don't gotta pay taxes, oh, they gotta do this, but in reality, you'll never know the struggle of an immigrant unless you are an immigrant. So it's kind of like an ignorant kind of like
Mhm.
connotation, like, okay, like, hey, they get all these different free benefits. And it's like, nah, they kind of on borrowed time, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like, you have to have that different perspective and ingenuity to get to a point to where you can stay and survive, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
So I had that, but that has its own limitations. And then the next administration that came after that was trying to block me. It's like, oh, you gotta go back. The DACA stuff, that's on we can't have that.
Right.
But there was a judge that deemed that the stop of the DACA program unconstitutional and reinstated it. But then, after that, I ran into some like financial problems, and I'm still trying to get back on my feet. When I went back to school and everything else, I kind of like left my like really good paying job. I was
Right.
a pool builder for a minute.
Okay.
It was fun.
It sounds fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It's good. Good times. It was one of my boys' company. Shout out Pool Tech, Michigan.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, let's go. But yeah, so right now I'm kind of like in a standby, because like I said, they paused it. They did all this. They did all that. We didn't know what to do. Then all of a sudden, no, you can't put an application in. No, you can't put an application in. So I'm basically exploring other routes to get to legality.
Okay.
So that's what I'm on right now. So basically, I'm just in the process of
So
getting
you're
the legal
a
status.
caregiver in progress.
Yeah. So I just gotta have my paperwork in order,
Right.
and then once I got that handled, then I can go apply for my caregiver card.
Right.
So there's just a couple extra steps.
Right. So for inspiring people who want to be caregivers or want to learn how to grow and do these different things, how does someone become a caregiver?
You just have to apply. Just apply online. It's actually very easy. There's like links now, so you can, again, the Michigan Weester guys, Mr. Fun Guy, the Amy Carter, all these people, they can put you on. I think you can just message them online, or you can honestly just Google
Right.
caregiver, patient caregiver card,
Right.
and it's cheap. It's like super cheap now too. I don't know what the going rate is, but at some events, even like these caregiver events, you can just do it there.
Oh, really?
Go down to the little like stand there, fill out your
Yeah.
application. I thought it was very like difficult,
Yeah.
but in reality, you just gotta have a patient.
Right.
Once you get the permit, I have a couple friends that have their card.
Right.
That they say, okay, once you get your permit, you're gonna be our caregiver, and then you're gonna grow for us type deal. So
Right.
that is literally the only reason I'm not a caregiver yet.
Yeah. Definitely, I get that. So how do you feel about like the cannabis space within Michigan and the different places that you travel? Like, does Michigan really do have like the best scene, or do you feel like it's improving? Like, where do you stand at where you look at Michigan as a cannabis state or capital?
When I got into it, caregivers, there seems to be a decline. You know, once the corporate cannabis start coming in, once it become legal, and then the government start putting dirty little fingers in there, regulating and this FDA that. So then I don't know. It seems to be a little bit mixed right now because I've heard I went to like one cannabis event and it was all caregiver, right? And everybody's so happy and everything's cool. Mm-hmm. And then the same people all of a sudden is what they went metric.
Okay.
So then I made like a poster reel about them, and I got somebody in my DMs like, "Hey man, why you posting about caregivers, bro? That was a metric. That was a metric. I don't know how I feel." I don't know. I was like, well, I don't know what that means. I don't know what
I'm confused too.
I just came to the scene,
Right.
Like the whole political aspect of it,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, dude. I was like, these are my buddies. I went to the event. I don't care that it's metric. I don't even know what that means. But these are my buddies. They're caregivers. I put them on. So you get to decide.
Right.
So I decided to highlight the caregiver. I decided. So as far as like that scene, it seems to be dying a little bit, sadly. The caregiver scene.
I feel like weed is more open now, like far as like dispensaries and the accessibility. But I also feel like the core of it, like the caregivers. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's a bit of a not disconnect, but like a wall. Like you can go, like right now we can go to a dispensary, walk in, hey, and it's not gonna be the same quality as a caregiver. But I feel like caregivers to a certain degree come off as like standoffish just a tad bit, where it's not that easy. Like it's not as easy to
Unfortunately, like I see what you mean, and I've talked to some of my caregiver friends, and they've been in the game for a long time. Right. Most of these guys, since like whatever
the 70s, 80s.
Yeah, and it was really hard back then.
Right.
It was really hard. So you had to worry about a lot of things. You not only did you have to watch your back because it
True.
was illegal, but like if somebody came and took all your shit, where are you gonna go? So it's very grimy industry. That's the word that was described. It's grimy. It can be grimy. So I feel like maybe there's some sort of like, and maybe through time it'll dissolve. Right. But as far as like maybe I don't know. That's how I saw it. Like it just dealt with so much BS, left and right. Not only from some people in the community, because unfortunately, there's just bad eggs everywhere you go. Not everything's all sunshine and flowers. So I feel like that's why maybe it's hard.
Yeah.
And they also don't want to get in trouble. I'm very careful when I acquire herb from my caregiver friends, because it has to be done a certain way. Because I can't get them in trouble. Because you know what I mean? I can't really, unless I'm a patient for them.
Yeah.
Unless it's an event that's like you get a permit for, and that's already taken care of, and yada yada yada, and stuff like that. But you have to be really careful because it's so strict. They're like, boom, just say you're busted. So I feel like that's why.
Yeah, and I feel like that negative stink on cannabis is what made dispensaries thrive. Because it's just like, if you think about food, the franchise and the food, it's because people aren't growing food. They'd rather take the easier route to get food, which is not organic. Like it's better to grow your cannabis. It's better to grow your own food, but it's so easy and accessible to go to a dispensary and to a chain restaurant that is got you further away from the roots, pun intended.
I think you had it like dead on, bro. That's a super great comparison.
Yeah.
Because like I said, once the government started putting the dirty little finger, and I didn't know when I first came recreational and all this stuff, I was like, oh sweet. My boy was like, hey man, listen out, don't get too excited. That just means the government is gonna start fucking it up.
Right.
Lo and behold, now you go to a dispensary, is like pre-rolls, edibles, and carts. It's like, what the fuck? When did it become? And then, oh, let me get an eighth. They pull out some dry ass popcorn shit.
Yeah.
Man,
some shit that was harvested and tested it in September, and you buying it now in January.
I like my shit fresh. Like, I want to know. I want to see the way I see. Also, man, I would take it even a step further. Like, fuck the physical. Let's talk about like the not maybe the spiritual. I would say the quantum physics of it of the cannabis. I even go as far as I gotta watch my thoughts. That's a sentient being. Cannabis is psychoactive. We know this now to be true, because we all seen that doctor that put the little what do you call it? Put little sensors on the plant. Yeah. And then like cut it, like the little light detector thing you look like, right? Mm-hmm. And then he cut a stem and then it spiked, stressed, right? He went and cut another plant, not even the same plant, another one in the room. It spiked. He thought about harming the plant. It was spike. Crazy, bro. I'm like, okay, so you telling me they know the vibe, like they know my vibe. Yeah. So when I'm in there, it is true. I don't know what that trimmer is thinking. Right. A lot of people there's a problem too with the way the weed is grown, also the genetics that are being used. But I don't know, man, like what kind of thoughts people are in there walking around. Yeah. Everybody's sad as fuck nowadays. Super mental health out the window. Yeah. And they're in there trimming and stuff. That weed is literally absorbing that. That's why it's so great to grow your own weed. Right. Because you establish
that aesthetic, like that I don't want to say morality, but like the energy, the vibrance of what weed is. Like it's like if you're in a bad mood, or you're lazy, or you're all these different things that people kind of give stoners, that type of thing, and you have that energy, weed's gonna do that for you. If you're creative and you're like, you know, you like the aesthetics, and you looking at the things with an open eye view, it's gonna enhance that.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of people are gonna. I've seen this, right? Oh, weed is so addicting. Cannabis. Oh my God, I couldn't even do anything. But once I stopped, you know, now it's so clear and all this other stuff. Man, that's you, dude. Yeah. Bob Marley said the herb will present yourself to you, just like you said. Right. It don't enhance. You're lazy, it's gonna make you lazy.
Lazy even more.
You're lazy on cannabis, motherfucker. You're already lazy to begin with. Yeah. You know. So I smoke a blunt, bro. And I'm like, I want to go kick a ball around. I want to do some deadlifts. Like what you know, like you know, it's completely different. I don't know.
It brings all of the awareness. Yeah, definitely.
All the checklist comes out. Like, oh, let's get to it. You know.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So going back to something you just said, back to like the cannabis space in Michigan, like how do you feel about like that actual realm of things, like when you go to these different events and you're networking with different people, like do you feel like our state is in a space to where we can grow, pun intended?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. At the end of the day, I feel like Michigan, I'm lucky to be here. Again, this is one of those things I should be grateful for. Right. That I am in actually the one place where I could freely grow my cannabis. Right. As long as I stay within the legal framework of the Michigan law, you know, the Farm Bill and all this other stuff, whatever. Yeah. So I think it's definitely a huge potential to grow, and I feel like you said. Now people are starting to realize that maybe because something's readily available and I could do it right now, it doesn't mean that it's the best. Yeah. So now I feel like there's more of an awareness. There is more of people wanting to go back to the homesteading,
being conscious,
the growing. Yeah. Yeah. Not, you know, and get some sort of freedom back. You know, when I grow my own cannabis, I see it as that. Right. That's my freedom. I did that. You know, I could do it, you know. So definitely a lot of room to grow, but I would want to add this. like I said, the caregiver scene seems to be dying, and these are people that actually care about the herb. It's not just a profit-based business. I mean, really dive into like the nature of the plant and the holistic way of growing it and being in tune with nature, and just providing like giving the best environment for that cannabis to grow without the extra destruction of the planet, right? Without the climate change, like without this stuff. So yeah, so I feel like it's gonna get even better now that people are more like conscious about what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like there's I'm excited, definitely.
Somebody in the comments put I need a fire sativa. Are you more like sativa? Are you more like indica? Or it doesn't matter?
I used to be more a sativa guy, so like Green Crack, Jack Her, these like your staple sativas are something that I've always chased.
Right.
And then creative strains, whatever was made me creative. But now that I'm a little bit older, then I have a little bit more of a tolerance. I seem to lean more on the indicas.
Right.
Like but I gotta watch it, right? Like I can't. Like the wedding cake that I mentioned, that one will put you to sleep, man. You gotta be careful smoking that one. But the other one, like the Busboy Blues, man. That one you smoke, that's a morning strain. Boom, wake up, take a hit.
Yeah,
ready
good
to go.
For the day. Yeah.
So I guess it kind of depends what I'm doing, and also the activity too. Like, again, if I'm doing, it doesn't make sense. You think you'd want to get a sativa for this, but if I want to do like before a soccer game, I would want to smoke an indica, just because I'm more relaxed.
Right.
You know what I mean? I might hit that sativa that's a little bit too anxious, because that's a side effect. You know, I've gone to a game like, you know, oh man, what's going on? And you're like, bro, hey, chill, man. This is why you smoke, bro. So this doesn't happen to you, man. Like, we're like, this is what you do, man. Just go kick the ball around, bro. Just make sure you score more than the other team.
And it's all good. It gives you that fuck it mentality. Like, yeah, you know, you tripping. Like,
so, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like, fuck it. Like, you got it. Yeah.
Indicas, though, to answer that question.
Yeah. I kind of like I kind of favor indicas a lot more. Just for all the things you just said. It just kind of like, just brings everything down. But I also like, now that I'm kind of like exploring like different strands and different things, like I like the hybrids too as well, where it kind of like a good hybrid where they kind of mix good together, where it's kind of like you feel the effects of both of them.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's like if I need to do like a little break during the day,
right?
A little hybrid here and there.
Yeah,
that's why I like to grow different strains too, for that reason, because I want to have different effects. So you got to know how to use it.
Right.
Another thing too, I want to add about the dispensary weed is the genetics. Like let's take cookies for example. Super marketed, whatever, this and that, but it's a very and this is what I read and what I saw and what I've heard. Like online and stuff through the caregiver community. It maybe is, I don't know, but like what they said is this, that the cookies is a very aggressive strain.
Yeah.
So whatever you cross it with, it's going to like 95% is going to take over that genetic pool.
Right.
So just because we want to have that entourage, the weed, you want to look at it and it's got that nice structure and it's like super keefy and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Oh, mix it. I get it. Oh, mix it with the cookies, man. But you're losing the medicinal properties, because you're deleting all the other effects just
really?
Because you want to have one thing and you chase that one thing. You're losing all this other properties, all these other benefits, all these other terpenes, all this other stuff from the other strains.
Right.
You know, so we gotta go back. We gotta be careful, you know, because when we do buy dispo, and I don't get me wrong, I go to dispo, and I guess
okay,
I go in there and I'm like, yo, what's growing on living soil?
Yeah, because I didn't know if you were like pro dispensaries, or were you more a caregiver?
I purchase caregiver as much as I go. Man, I drive like 2 hours, bro, to go to my boy's place, More Ganja Farms, to get bacon and all kind of stuff.
Okay.
But it's whenever I just try to go to Caregiver as much as possible.
Right.
Like, well, I haven't gone and bought herb in the dispensary. I don't know when was the last time, to be honest, because I'm still smoking my shit. So.
Right. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. It's like stoner's regret. Sometimes I kind of like regret going to dispensaries. Sometimes because I be wanting to support caregivers,
Yeah.
but I don't know any like personally. So it's like I want to support, but am I really gonna come across a caregiver? Am I really gonna find someone that's not, not afraid but like reluctant to do business with me? Like,
so there is on Reddit, Michigans.
mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that subreddit?
I might have.
So join that and ask, hey, I live here. Where is a caregiver in the area that I can support? And I'm pretty sure somebody will pop up. But if you want, man, we can go to one of these caregiver events. They happen all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I've been wanting to go. You mentioned the Weedsters. I follow a few pages of members of those, and I me personally, I want to be a part of those type of things because it's easy to do a podcast and smoke weed and review cannabis and be like it's good or not. But when you're on the groundwork, when you're actually doing something that can actually benefit and giving great growers like yourself and other people in the cannabis space a platform to talk about these different things, you're doing something different. So that's why I want to support more.
Thank you. And I feel like we need to, man, because that's another way to keep these people alive and here and passing that on. Think about that's like the homesteading. We don't want to lose that, man. We don't. No. We know what happens when you go to the comfortable, easy route. Right. So we don't know what side effects you can have, mentally, psychologically down the road with. Might be none. Who knows, right? But like you pumping that stuff full of synthetics, you're doing, I don't know what you're doing, remediating it, and then, people, unfortunately, I just want to get high. Yeah. I get high, I don't care. That's it. That's what I want.
It's an escape from their problems and different things where, like we said earlier, it's more of a holistic and.
But you got to get your med card though, so like, I feel like to have access to a caregiver like always, you have to get your med card, and it protects you a lot too.
And see, that's a problem too because one of the stigmas, in my particular community, the African American community is like, okay, people want to get their medical cards, but you can't have firearms. And and cannabis at the same time, so that kind of deters. From speaking from the African American community, it deters people from wanting to do that because it's like, okay, you live in these urban neighborhoods where you got to protect yourself.
But you gotta have.
Does your protection or your enjoyment of cannabis like outweighs itself?
Definitely, you definitely want to keep that protection on you. I feel you. Yeah, that's the tough part too, man. That's the thing right there. But I'll be more than happy to take you to one of these events, man.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely. I'm
beautiful people.
I'm one of them people that I'm definitely will get my medical card and want to explore those different options because, like I said, I want to support caregivers and people who grow and people who have a different light of cannabis versus the corporate way now with dispensaries and franchise and marijuana.
It's just profit based, man. Whenever unfortunately we live in a world that everybody just wants to make the most with the least. That's everybody, right?
Right.
But then also when you start to mass produce, just like, pick up anything that's mass produced. You see the first two ingredients are like fillers.
Right.
So when you're cranking out that much stuff, and I'm not saying it can't be done, but when you're doing that much and everything's profit based, man, you don't care. You just want
to make the money. Yeah. You're not looking at it from its value and medicinary purposes.
Like the actual reason, like the way I see cannabis is a gift. Like I would smoke, man. I'm telling you, like I would go on rants with my girl. She'd probably sick of me because I would smoke my weed, and I'm like there halfway through the blunt, and I'm like, my grandfather, I don't know, I have grandfather issues because none of my grandfathers on both sides. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I'm like, this shit heals, bro. Like this is therapeutic. All my traumas are like, I'm like thinking, I cater that, but to me, like I grew it psychologically, physically, everything is catered to me. So I feel like it's so powerful when you grow your own bud, because that is catered to you, and you're gonna smoke it, you're gonna enjoy it, you're gonna feel super proud, and not only that, it's gonna start bringing out some of those things. I believe that's what I think. Maybe, I don't know, I may be wrong, but there's probably people that agree with me. So that's why the danger is of the corporate cannabis, because it could put you in a cycle. You know, some of this stuff, it's so high, like they infuse it with this, they infuse it with that, and stuff like that, and you smoking this little pre-roll. It's like 75% THC versus like, you know, like a 20 to like
they turn
25.
up the terps. They do these different like freaky things with the cannabis.
Start putting like the concentrate on, like dipping it with keef and all this other stuff. You're like, you get so high that you reach a very low. Yeah. So you constantly have to go get that high.
Right. But you steady chasing the high.
Now you get into this vicious cycle of like kind of like depressing weed. And that was the thing with the cookies. That was the thing that was like that. I was like, yo, you depressed, stop smoking that strain, stop smoking that thing. Try a different one. You know, don't stick to that one. And that's why I feel like the growing it in the proper way, in tune with nature, under the sun, is definitely healing. It's medicinal. So
being somebody that does grow, do you take tolerance breaks, or do you take a break from cannabis?
Yeah, I use my bongs instead of rolling blunts. Tea break, time to bust out the vaporizers. That's my tea break right there.
Oh man, that was silly right there. I ain't gonna lie. You got me with that one.
Maybe I'll take a tea break. I don't know. Last time I took a tea break was probably like 4 years ago. I don't know. I'm at a point in my life where I'm okay.
Yeah, it's such
user.
Like it's such like pun intended, infused in your life. It's like when you were growing, and it's like tolerance break. This is my livelihood. This is my job. This is something I'm passionate about. So I get that. I was just curious because sometimes I've come across certain people who are growers who just grow. Like, all right, I'm gonna just focus on this for a period of time. You know, have friends and family try the strands and give it feedback. Because sometimes maybe when you're so close to something, you might not miss it, or like be like, no, everything is good. Where some people be like, they may give you feedback and be like, hey, this was good, but the other batch you had then it was better or different. You know what I'm saying? Not so much better, but different feelings. Different. Yeah. So for the audience that's watching, and just like I said, part of the reason why I wanted you to come on, so I can learn, this process and learn different things from you. So how long does it take to actually grow, like from the beginning stages to where it's flowered and budded? Or
so if you grow outdoor, it goes through different processes, right? So you got the seedling stage, when you pop the seed, germinate the seed, grow, and then it gets to the veg state. It's just growing. It's that's when people top it. So like, that's called when you have your colo after 3 nodes. You can top that. Okay. And then it'll grow 2, and then after a certain time you can top those. Right. And then you have 4, and you get 8, 16, 32. So so then you go through different processes, right? And then transition stage, it stretches, and then the flower stage, where it literally just starts putting all this energy into making fat nugs. So outside, you have to wait for whenever the summer equinox, right, or the spring equinox. Whenever everything shifts, because when there is more sunlight, then it's on veg. The moment that it shifts, and now you're getting more less sunlight and more nighttime, then it kicks into flowers. So you're kind of like at the mercy of Mother Nature when you're outside. Okay. I mean, you have it in your calendar whenever that time ends, whenever it tilts back, right? And then indoor, it could be like 90 days. Okay. There's literally when you buy that's another reason why people like indoor, because you can just flip it. You know, right now I have my grow and it's 18 hours of sunlight, 6 hours of darkness.
Okay.
And I'm gonna keep that all the way through until, you know what, is 8'10", so I gotta watch out, because when it's the transition stage, it goes through like a stretch.
Right.
So you can literally double the size of the plant in like a week or two. It literally was. All of a sudden, I went to my garden was like boom, 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 start popping out. I had to start popping the stuff out of the top of the greenhouse, man, because I was like, whoa. But so that's the thing about indoor. You have a little bit more control. And certain strains do require a little bit more like veg days. So you got to kind of see.
Got to be more tedious with it, more fine tuning.
Yeah, that's why you got some people like it's very good to count the days.
Okay.
So like in my indoor grow, I'm counting the days. I have my little notebook there, and then I'm gonna respect the days. I think I'm gonna go a little bit more than 90.
Okay.
But you have the freedom to flip whenever you want, as long as you give it enough time in the veg stage.
So is it common or is it uncommon for plants to grow quicker than expected?
That's so strain dependent. No, I had like right now I'm growing some with Outgrow Greed, these guys, and Jolly Pond. Shout out to them. Every once a month they drop free seeds. All you have to do is pay shipping. Thank you. Perfect. So and then there's some other guys that gave me samples, Atlas Seed, and I have Divorce Cake, Banana Cream Sundae, the Afghani white Afghani from the Jolly Pond, and then some Vader melon, which unfortunately that one died. But yeah, the Afghani shout out, man. They were like I measure them, so they're like 3.5 inches, 4 inches.
Okay.
My wedding cake is probably like 2 inches, like Divorce Cake. I'm sorry, and the Banana Cream Sundae is right in the middle. So they all grow at their own rate. You notice some that like to be a little bit more bushy, and also too like with sativas and indicas too, they have their little variations.
Right.
So the indica likes to have bigger, broader leaves and be a little bit more bushy.
Right.
So then it literally just depends on the strain. So that's why another reason why you can buy seeds online, and then you can of course you can have a little guide, and then you can follow that guide or whatever, or you can get with a breeder that's a caregiver, and that's like he's created that strain, right? So that's like his strain, right, that he created, and he's gonna tell you exactly, oh hey, by the way, you know, do this, do that, you know, saying you have somebody that has detailed knowledge of the herb you're about to grow versus just buying some seed online and popping it, you know, following some course on the internet.
Is it easy to get seeds?
Yeah, I think so. It's fairly easy. There's websites too. But like I said, just like the caregivers, I was going to these like events, and then they have the stuff there. So, hey, what's up? How much is this for this one? And again, you know, I made a couple friends and stuff like that, and I'm gifted. I have so many seeds, bro. I'm like behind. I'm like, man, I gotta have 2 girls right now going, so I can, you know, because I wanna highlight people. You know, if I see that you're you know. I like your vibe. You know, you also fuck with the regenerative gardening soil, and you know, I see you need some love on the gram. Oh, let me grow your stuff. Let me put you on. I'll make reels. I'll record my year strain from beginning to end and put it all on there.
Right.
You know, so like that. I also like to do that. So I think it's cool.
Yeah. So one of the things that caught my attention when I did see your page and everything is your content. So like what about you made you want to record the content, obviously to promote into cannabis, but like in your own way, because the way you do it is the catchy part about it. Like it's silly, but at the same time it's informative as well, because you get to see a up close view of, you know, your process.
Yeah, that's it. Like, to be honest, I feel like I'm a little bit slower than the average person that make a move. Okay. Like I find sometimes I'm too strategic.
Right.
I need to learn. I need to know. I need to. Ooh. You know what is this information? I gotta ask. I gotta talk to people.
Right.
You know? And then so like, So so that's why I record and do the things that I do. And I like you said, it's funny. I'm glad you said that, 'cause that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be. I want to give you some knowledge, drop some knowledge on you real quick, and then also make you laugh. You know, because cannabis is like that. Cannabis, that's the community. That's like the whole thing around it. You know, one love, baby.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. So. But no, like, so when you're coming up with these ideas for your content, like how do you go about creating this idea, or if it's just like a spur of the moment, or is it like
a little bit of both?
Okay.
So I have a slot on my notes called ideas.
Okay.
There's so many, bro. There's some content in my head that I still don't have the like the ability, because I don't have the editing skills. But like every time I get an idea, I write it down.
Right.
And there's some stuff that just come. There's some stuff that I'm just like about my day, and I'm like, oh, it would be real funny, I think, if I did this, you know. And then all of a sudden, you know, let's go do it. Let's go record it. You know,
Right.
I probably have so many reels in the making in my like I can honestly not record reels and like not record for like a good month and drop video content like every month, like or like every day for like a month. And still not record, because I have that many ideas, that many heads. And then I don't know, I kind of like wake up, or whenever I think I need to share something, or something is important to me, it helped me, you know, take that extra step. Like I said, I'm very slow sometimes at taking that step.
Right.
So whenever I saw, you know, whenever I put that seed in the ground, and I was like, oh, you know, it's not that bad. You know, there's actually so many different ways that you could do it, and easier ways, and you know. So then that's why, because there's a lot of misinformation in there. Like I said, I when I looked it up, I felt discouraged. Yeah. And I was like, oh man, look at all this knowledge I need to. That's why I was like, oh, I need to look at NPK, phosphorus and potassium. What the fuck? So just that. So like I said, so if I can help somebody make that step quicker, if I can help somebody realize that, oh man, it's just a plant, dude.
Yeah.
What are you talking
don't
about?
overcomplicate it. Yeah.
Just grow it, enjoy it, and it's for you. It's a gift for you, man. That's it.
Yeah. So I want to go back to something you said earlier. Have you breeded any strands before? Like, have you created your own strand before?
Unintentionally.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did. I wanted to. So I have, again, another thing I want to talk about is like feminized seeds versus regular seeds.
Okay. Let's get into it.
So the stigma is that, oh, I don't want to have regular seeds because I'm gonna have a male, and if I grow a male, it's gonna grow balls and pollen sacs, and it's not gonna flower. It's just gonna release all the pollen, and it's gonna be an orgy in my grow, and all my bud is gonna be like seeded.
Right.
And then you lose percentage. I've spoken to like the AB Seed Co guy that I mentioned earlier. He said, I've been breeding all my life, and my bud, you know, you smoked it. That's just fire, bro.
Fire.
Get out of here. Get out of here, you know. So like it's how you do it. So then whenever I had my grow, I was very afraid of regular seeds for that matter. And later on, I came to find out, well, that's a little bit more in tune with nature, you know. Right. There are, you know, that's how you produce. That's how. So if I want to learn and know everything about the plant, I was like, I have to grow a male. Right. So last grow was the first time that I grew like regular seeds, and I did find some males, but it wasn't even that hard. I talked to my friend Dave. He's a caregiver. Okay. This guy from More Ganja Farms. Okay. And he literally showed me. Him. He literally showed me, bro. He's like, this is how you find out. And I waited. I would send them pictures. Hey man, where did that happen? Yeah. And back to the other guy, to the original guy who I first start asking questions. Same thing. He's like, oh man, you don't have to worry about that, bro. They start opening sacks like way later. Like if you're gonna be able to catch it way before then. I'm in my girl like twice a day, dude. You telling me I'm not gonna catch this? Yeah, I want to catch it. So as soon as I saw that they were males, I uprooted them. I put them in separate pots, and I put them in the garage. And then, so I've always said, so inside the tent, inside the garage, and I was like, there's no way pollen can hit my ladies from right now. Right. In my mind, I was gonna let it flower. Go in there with a little brush and a little Ziploc baggie, collect all the pollen, and then go back in there and start breeding some of the stuff. And I was very careful. I thought I was very careful in never going from the male to the female, because pollen will catch on my shirt. Oh. And then I will go in there because I want to be very careful. I had 2 different males. I had one of the Busboy Blues and one of the Still Tipping, which was we also smoke both those.
Right. Fire, by the way, too.
And that's a breeder from Austin. I don't know his Instagram tag, but I'm gonna give him a shout out here in a second. So I must have maybe one day gone to the male and then gone to the female. So whenever it was time for me to start smoking my flower, I started finding not a lot of seeds. I have maybe I'm pretty much down to like maybe, I don't know, like 5-6 ounces of my weed left. And I have a little small 1 gram puck of random seeds. I don't know what they are. I did create strains. Yeah, I did. Like I did create my first. I did cross. I'm a crossbreeder. The people in the industry would call me a pollen chucker. That's cool. I guess I could do a pollen chugging. I don't care. But yeah. So that's another thing too, that got me. That opened my eyes a little bit more. I said, man, it didn't even take much. Like I must have had one time or something, but my females got, they got whatever bred, and now I have these seeds. I don't know if this is the one this male or the other male. I had 2 males. Right. So then he's like, what about all these growers that are trying to make all these, that they have like maybe 3 or 4 different projects going at the same time, where you don't even know at the end of the day that seed that you're getting is actually these 2 that you crossed, because you're doing so many different things and you're going about your day, and maybe not all the grows. There's probably people there that know how to, like, really control everything. Right. So yeah, I kind of did create by accident.
Did you name the strain?
No, not yet, man.
Okay.
I kind of want to. So what I want to do with this particular set of I kind of want to wait until I am a caregiver and I can grow more. Because right now I can only grow 12. Right. Because that's the legal number. So because I'm so behind in all the seeds that I have to grow, I have my own on standby, and I'll go through them. And once I I grow them, not that I'm going to be able to grow them and be like, oh yeah, this is definitely the Still Tipping and the Purple Cake Kush. I don't think I'll be able to get. Maybe it would be cool if I do.
If you did, yeah.
But once I see the herb, and once I then I'll name it. I think so. Yeah,
I feel you. So just to go back to something we was talking about previously, what do you think about the social media and their constant I don't know if blackballing is the good term to say, or harassing, shadow banning, or like the lack of creativity they give people who are content creators, or like people who grow like yourself, or people who like me who want to advocate for cannabis. Like they don't like cannabis. Like if you post something right now, your page gonna get flagged, or they're gonna try to take it down or take the page in general. Like, so why do you feel like social media paints cannabis in such a negative light?
Because Instagram's a hoe. No, because social media is not really for you, man. That's how the honest truth. Like, can it be used for a tool to make money and information? But when I get into all these crazy conspiracy theories and whatnot, and there's a lot of them in my head, trust me, I feel like social media is only there to I don't know, put you in a different state of mind,
distract you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not really, so you don't help their like the original function of social media when you talk about the power of this herb that's been demonized. Like, all my posts, I got like 6-7 posts that are flagged. And like, can I delete the videos? Sure, I can delete the videos, get monetized and all this other stuff. I don't care. I don't like when I click on the videos that are flagged, it's the ones me and my grow. It's the ones that literally I talk
have
about
nothing to do with cannabis.
the mental health. Well, yeah, there's pictures of
Right.
and I'm like, smoke this shit because it'll make you feel better and grow it too. You know, basically like the healing frequencies of nature and being out in nature and grounding and putting your feet in the soil, waking up in the, you know, going to your grow. I like to stretch. I like to go in there. I burn a little incense. I'm a little bit of a little hippie. I like to say sometimes. I don't know if I look like it, but I burn incense. Palo Santo. I'm in there in my grow and I'm like doing stretch and I'm doing yoga and I'm like recharging, right? Like I like to call it. So, man, I forgot I was going with this. I'm sorry, bro.
No. We talking about the social media and that.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Getting flagged.
So yeah, again, yeah, my posts, the ones that are flagged, I would have to delete the stuff that I made the account first. You know, it goes against my, and I'm it's 2024, man. Fuck all that shit. Like whatever doesn't go against me, you're gonna shadow ban me. I'll create another account. I'll stop dropping knowledge in that one. Block that one. I'll create another one. I don't give a shit. Like it's like at the end of the day, that's not real life, man. Real life, go outside, you know, hug a tree for real.
Yeah,
that's real.
Yeah,
that's real life.
Definitely, yeah, I like that. I personally, I have like a love-hate relationship with like social media in general when it comes to cannabis, because it's so much more that I want to do. Like I want to actually go to network with growers and show people like, hey, these is this grower, you know, caregiver. You should, you know, really, you know, think about not going to your local dispensary, but even if you do want to do that, support both. Like don't be biased to one side. Like actually, if you are an actual stoner, you're an actual person that cares about cannabis, you have to support both. If not just one. You know what I'm saying? Like so I want to do those type of things, but every time I try, it just seems like, you know, they want to
ban you.
They want to ban you. They want to almost take the page. It's just like.
So it's very now I've seen some cannabis influencers on my Instagram that have now gotten a little bit of freedom back, been able to switch some settings. I feel like there was a little bit of like a tweak. I just feel like it's a matter of time too.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's a matter of time. One day I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be able to post anything that I want about the herb, and you know, social media is gonna have to chill the fuck out.
Chill the fuck out. Yeah, definitely.
That's it.
Yeah. So like, what projects are you working on right now as far as like your setup and what you're doing right now?
So this is my first year growing indoor.
Okay.
So I'm getting through the challenges of that.
Not to cut you off, but is greenhouse considered indoor or?
Oh yeah, when I say greenhouse, it's like a greenhouse I built outside.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the tent is the indoor grow inside.
So greenhouses aren't considered indoor?
Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I misunderstood I'm not sure. To be honest, I feel like even if you have it in a greenhouse, it's still outside being grown by the sun. I feel like that's the important part. Having that sunlight and the moonlight too, man. Having that herb, it just amplifies, like, you know, the magical aspect of the cannabis, I guess you would say, to say it differently. But yeah.
So back to the, like, what projects are you working on?
Oh, my bad, yeah.
Yeah, that's all good.
I'm growing just like my first indoor. So I got, like I said, unfortunately the Melon Vader died on me, but I still got the other ones, the white Afghanis and that, and I'm also just doing a series of companion planting with that, like microgreens. Okay. Because I feel like it'll be fun to grow with them. Yeah. So I'll put some basil in there, put some other herbs and stuff just to have some little biodiversity. And just that, and I'm not really doing too much because I'm just kind of like waiting. Okay. And I have like with my other soil, like I said, banned on Tres, so I opened up another one. Yeah. So I got that one. It's gonna be more focused on like just regenerative agriculture, not so much cannabis. Even though I do have cannabis posts on there, but the more so just regrowing your own. So I guess those are my projects right now. My small little indoor tent that I have a 4x4 by 8 feet, and then the other side where I want to teach people how to break away from having to go to the grocery store all the time. Like we live in times we don't have that much like self-resilience, like we said earlier. Right. Everything's readily available for us, so we lost that mystique. And then now we know that also there's a lot of poison in the food in the grocery store.
Yeah.
So then
pesticide.
Yeah, but besides all that shit, that's those two things. I want to really get into growing your own food because growing your own cannabis. I want to take it a step further. I not only want to not smoke stuff that I don't know what the fuck is happening. If I'm just gonna be that picky with my weed, I want to be that picky with my food.
Right. So, yeah,
that's it.
Definitely. So, what do you see as the differences, just from your personal perspective, from growing like indoor and outdoor?
Right now, my plants are kind of too young to tell.
Okay.
But I don't have to worry about the spacing of the sun. Right? Okay. Everything's already perfect. You cannot replicate Mother Nature. You could try. You could definitely try. So right now, what happened to my plants that died was because I had my grow light a little bit too far out, and it stretched too much.
Okay.
So it became too weak. It couldn't because it was trying to reach that light. It went so quick that it didn't have the proper time to get really like strong.
Yeah.
So it toppled over. It's too much of a shock. It died. So that right now, that's my issue right there. That I had to, maybe sometimes Instagram maybe sometimes Reddit is not right. Maybe I don't have to.
Trial and error.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's what I'm figuring out.
What about the pros of the different two, the indoor and outdoor?
Like I said earlier, the pest side of it. So, shout out to MI Beneficials.
Shout out to them.
So I bought some stuff from them. So like you can put like good like bugs in there. I guess you could say it.
Right.
So predatory bugs and stuff like that eat your little flies and stuff. They eat all the pests. Ladybugs and stuff like that. So I bought that for outdoor. Sorry, but like indoor. I'm not really gonna have to worry about any bugs, man. I'm really like I'll probably spray like the IPM like here and there.
Right.
But everything's super clean. I mean, I disinfected everything.
Like,
down and you kind of have to, especially after having males.
Yeah.
So I like super disinfected everything. So that's the thing that I'm enjoying the most, I guess, in the indoor, and the fact that like it's the next room over. Like I wake up and the first thing I do, I'm like.
Let me check on these plants.
They're good. I'm like this. I'm like, oh shit, they're still good. I'm like, oh hell yeah.
Right.
Don't disturb them too much. Come
on. So what made you want to try the newer approach versus what you were already doing?
Just different ways also too. Like I feel like I want to be diverse as well. Like stay within the lines of like being regenerative and being green and like the organic route. But just explore different ways. Like I said, it's so diverse. It's so unique. I feel like every plant is literally one out of one. So you could grow any way. And I have actually bought some organic nutrients. Shout out to Organics Alive.
Shout out to them.
So they're so good. Like they actually had to come up with like a new word to describe their product because there was nothing in the market like it.
Right.
Like it's so like they can explain it, but basically when I found them, I was like, that's what I'm going to do. So I literally had like a competition. So I had my soil, and then I had the Organics Alive nutrients, and I was like, oh, let's see which one. So I like to dabble like that during this. In my next outdoor grow, I'm going to incorporate somebody else's nutrients and stuff like that. So I feel like it's always evolving too. Like and like maybe one grow is never the same as the next. Hopefully in a positive way, in growth. So yeah, that's why I like to maybe do little variations here or there or stuff, just because you never know. I don't want to be the person that's stuck. You know, oh, this is the best way. I don't care. I mean, so many people like that. They'll listen, man. No, whatever that guy said, this is that. And then you go on to the next dude, and I'm like, oh, he said that, man. Yeah, no, this right here, bro.
It comes like a gauntlet of trying to debunk each other.
Yeah, it's like they like to stroke their ego in a way, and I get like that, man. I call it the grower's hubris.
Right.
My shit is the best. I mean, your shit's good, but it's not like mine.
Right. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah.
That's how it should be, though. You should be proud.
Is there anything about like being a grower or the cannabis space that like you want to debunk, or myths that people like kind of put into our space that you want to debunk or want to talk about from a grower's perspective?
Yeah, I think we touched on it a little bit. We were talking about how it's got a stigma, like the plant's got a stigma, and it's done on purpose. It was propaganda that was put on there for the people to like be misinformed,
miseducated,
so they can push their regulations to keep it to themselves, greedy fucks. And then so just that, getting rid of, like, really find out why it became illegal. Really ask yourself, like, why can I grow this plant that's literally just a plant? Like,
right.
If you put it in the soil, that would say like, and then also getting away from, oh, I just need to purchase all of these things. I need to go in the store and do it. So I guess like that growing cannabis is expensive,
mm-hmm.
and that like stoners are like lazy and this and that or whatever. I think now there's a lot more information, a lot more studies that can tell you, hey, I've been smoking a fucking blunt and drinking a cup of coffee as my pre-workout for years.
Right.
Now everybody's like, oh, the new wave. Turns out actually cannabis can help you lift weights and
right.
and then But I've been on that, bro. Come on. I knew that shit was for me before the science behind it, because I knew.
Right.
So those two things, yeah.
Yeah. Was it anything that we missed while we were? Was anything that you wanted to touch on, or was anything that we didn't quite talk about yet?
I'm not sure, man. I think we covered all the
yeah,
bases.
Definitely.
As far, is there anything else that you have as far as like comments or questions about growing?
Well, see, I wanna yes, but I wanna be able to bring you back on at least, you know what I'm saying, for another episode.
Okay, yeah.
And you know, if your schedule allows, at least once a month, you know what I'm saying, you come down and we have these type of conversations, one-on-one conversation, and you know, I'd be able to pick your brain from a grower's perspective.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I like that a lot. And then, like I said, there's never like one way. What I do is not ultimate. Like, I just want to share my experience, and if I can help somebody along the way and they can get some knowledge, then great, good.
Yeah,
I did the Lord's work, the real Lord's work.
Is it any shout outs or any people you want to highlight?
Oh yeah, man, for sure. There's a few people. First of all, she told me to say this, because then she said, we'll have problems. So shout out to my beautiful girlfriend. You know I love you. And of course her, my boy Omar. He's been through every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, I have a list here of people. Like I said, the More Ganja Farms. He breeds hogs.
Yeah, I follow him. Yeah,
we need to keep people like him around.
Okay.
We need to have good, clean access to meat. You know what I mean? So we can't let that die. The guy that I grew my regular seeds, ISNW Selections, these are all their Instagram tags.
Okay.
He's an artist. What you buy basically is his art, and then you get the seeds because you buy the art. It's beautiful.
Right.
Nardo's Pizza, that's one of my favorite spots in St. Joe. If you're ever in St. Joe, Peachy Hash & Co. Their gummies were like the best as far as like it's like me playing a pregame like gummy.
Yeah.
Retro Jeans, that's where I got my clones from. AB Seed Co. That's who I like. The Platinum Pebbles, I'm very impressed. He's got very great genetics. I'm gonna grow some of his stuff next summer. Organics Alive, they're nutrients that I use. Country Roots, that's the nutrients that I'm gonna start using for my next outdoor. Dragonfly Earth Medicine, Mr. Fungi, Michigan Weester, and if you want to follow like other people, like other cool people in the industry, like digital influencers, Cousin Nikolai, Brando the Bud Tender, and Inspector Dope.
Yeah, I like Brando's content as well. Yeah, he a cool guy, definitely. We did have one more topic, but I'm gonna save it for the next show. That was the Infusing Cannabis and soccer together.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
But we'll talk about that on the next one. So we're bearing gifts. I want to give you a Lit Cup. You know, shout out to the Lit Cup. They're a great sponsor for us. You can drink your tea in the morning on the top side, and you can indulge in cannabis on the bottom side. So everybody go get a Lit Cup. This is a product that Smoke Some Podcast is approving. We love them. We appreciate them. And they're our gracious sponsor. Shout out to Mix with Love Bakery. We bringing back our signature drink this year. It is a juice, a sweet juice. It's infused with a lot of good ingredients and a lot of the stuff we was talking about. But it was great having you.
Thank you, bro.
I appreciate you for coming through. I know it was a long drive, and I appreciate your patience with me and being able to, make it to the interview and give me your perspective from a grower's perspective, because this is the perspective that I always wanted to learn from and will continue to learn from you. So I appreciate you for coming.
Yeah, man, anytime. Like I said, also, thank you for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun, bro. This is awesome. I like your setup. Everything's smooth. Everything's so, professional.
Thank you.
Thank you for the gift. I'm definitely going to be dropping some dumbass reels. So
we
look forward
appreciate
to that.
it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But it was Smoke Some Podcast, episode 31. It's the Visionary Mind. I see it. I think it. I make it happen. Till next time, we'll see y'all next Saturday. Episode 32. It's the Visionary Mind. We out.